I gave her. You see?
Way too. So it seems like we're gonna be getting that PS5 Pro sometime later this year. This has been news that's been going on, I feel like, since what, like last year about us talking about the PS5 Pro and stuff like that. But some more news has recently come out about the PS5 Pro, and it seems like we might be getting it in the second half of this year. And apparently Sony is trying to have this junk ready before that GTA 6 hits the streets. And because this is going to be the first and most likely last GTA we get this generation, a lot of people are expecting that GTA 6, not only is it going to be really demanding on these consoles, but the game is going to be massive. But now, though, how some of us may feel about these, you know, different console models and these mid-gen refreshes that we get, this isn't really anything new. This has been going on. I mean, we got the PS3, and then we had the PS3 Slim. We had the PS4, and then we got the PS4 Slim, and then we got the PS4 Pro. Hell, I think we had a PS2 Slim. So, like, this isn't nothing new, but I will say, personally, I do think the general want and need of a PS5 Pro this time around compared to the PS4 Pro, it's way different. You have to remember, with the PS4 Pro, people were saying that the PS4 was underperforming. Most of the times, like before we got the PS4 Pro, we were still getting games at 1080p 30 FPS, and people were complaining about that. So then it made sense for them to put out the PS4 Pro, you know, because we was complaining we ain't even getting 60 FPS, and this was supposed to be next gen. We could have just stayed on PS3. You know, this time around, these games today, you could choose to play on fidelity mode or performance mode, whatever. And, you know, you can, based on which option you will choose, you can experience the game the way you want to experience. Now, granted, you can always, like, you know, max out the settings or whatever and, like, you know, fine tune things and make them look better like you can on PC, but we do have that option now. The main thing people are complaining about now, at least I feel like this gen, is the lack of actual next gen high quality games. Let's just be honest, most of this generation so far, 3+ years in, has been a combination of cross-gen titles, remakes, and remasters. That is literally all. It feels like at least 90% of what this gen has been about.
It's facts! It's facts!
These suckers releasing a PS5 Pro is not all of a sudden going to rectify that. Like, it's not going to be like this shift, like as soon as the PS5 Pro drops, you're gonna see next gen high quality PS5 Pro exclusives drop, and it's gonna fix what's been going on this gen so far. That's not what's going to happen. Like, it's just not. I mean, hell, if you buy a PS5, on the box itself, it says this thing is capable of doing 8K. That ain't me just like saying it. The box says it. So, like, I'm not even like really looking at the PS5 as like being an underpowered machine. I'm more so looking at the PS5 like, man, when are we gonna start getting some games that really define the PS5 generation? It says right here, PlayStation 5 Pro has been generally expected to come at some point ever since the system was introduced, as last generation's PS4 Pro helped boost the sales of the system well after its initial launch. And that's another thing. Remember, recently Sony was just, I mean, not complaining, but they said that, you know, they had a set margin of like what they wanted to sell of PS5s, and it was like 25 million something, and they would be like 4 million something short. And like, that's when, you know, one of the Sony executives was like, yeah, we've reached the latter stage of a PS5s, and people was like, whoa. But again, I was under the assumption, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think PS5 right now is like sold like 54 4 something point million consoles, and I think around at the same time PS4 is like right there. So I think right now the first 3+ years of PS4 and the first 3+ years of PS5, they're like neck and neck right now, or PS5 might be doing slightly better, but it's very close. And they put out the PS4 Pro to help the sales of PS4. Will a PS5 Pro help the sales of PS5? Maybe. You know, people are just, I mean, they just dropped the Slim like what? Like last year? So they just dropped the Slim like last year. I mean, will a PS5 Pro, you know, help, you know, boost the sales up a little bit? I think it would, but I don't think it'd be much. Because again, that is not the issue that people have been complaining about with this gen. This gen is very different in, you know, the timing of the Pro dropping compared to when the Pro dropped with PS4. And the PS5 Pro isn't going to be launching with any new major franchise titles for this year. Like, again, they have said, don't expect nothing from the first party studios this year, really. So it's going into the future with freaking GTA 6, and then whenever, I mean, do we have to keep on like, again, people like to slander Insomniac, but do we have to keep on relying on them to drop like to drop a exclusive title for PlayStation? Do we have to rely on Santa Monica again? Sucker Punch has not been a scene since 2020. Freaking all Naughty Dog cares about is like talking about Last of Us 2 and their HBO show. A PS5 Pro purchase for me would be useless. It would actually be useless, because at that point I'm just buying it literally so I can have the best experience of freaking of GTA 6. And if I'm doing that, I might as well, I mean, now granted, freaking those new GTA games always take like what? Like a year to, well, when did GTA 5 drop on PC the same time? I don't think it did. I think it took like a year and a half, or yeah, like somewhere around there for a GTA 5 to drop on PC. I ain't waiting no year and a half. But again, you have to really like ask yourself at this point, like what do us as console players want? Like, a lot of console players say that they play on consoles for the convenience of it, and you know that's why they don't play on PC, because they don't want to deal with, you know, all of the stuff. And when you have an error code 1CD89, you got to go on Google to search this up. But yet, in the same breath, when these, you know, stronger models of these consoles come out, what's the first thing console players do? They go out and buy them. So I do feel like over the years, console players have become like graphics whores in a sense. Like some console players really have. Now it's all about the graphics, and we have great looking games, but the games themselves don't last too long. So the freak am I buying a PS5 Pro 4 just to have a slightly better, you know, higher ray tracing support? To have, you know, better frame rates? I mean, that's cool and all, but we still getting the same games we are getting now. So, would you entertain getting a PS5 Pro, or do you think it's useless right now? Let me know what y'all think about, you know, PS5 Pro coming this year and all that stuff, and I'll catch y'all in my next video, all right?